What is up, everybody, and welcome to FLW Videos. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about the top 5 options for you to invest your rare candies into in Pokemon Go. Maybe you are like me where you've been building up a little bit over time. We've all of a sudden been able to get rare candies from so many more places. Maybe like PvP, you have gotten lucky and gotten some, but you're a little unsure as to what to invest in. Mostly for me, I fear that there would be a new moveset come out that's going to be like a raid exclusive move. And so if I put this rare candy into Pokemon and power it up, it could basically be rendered useless in the future. So that is exactly what we will be talking about in this video. We'll be talking about just kind of like the most future-proof Pokemon, the ones that are very unlikely to have like a moveset come around. But before we do that, we definitely need to check on Twitter and get some inspiration. Okay, so Kato Nolan, she's got Project Palkia up, got quite a bit of rare candies, definitely more than I have. You know, I would say that Palkia is a pretty good Pokemon, you know. I'm thinking you should probably invest like 34. Oh my gosh, she is still going. Oh my gosh, she did. Whoa! I've never even had that much rare candy in my life. We're gonna have to be way more effective than that. So yeah, all joking aside, definitely messing around with Kato on that one. But not everyone gets to play quite as much as some of the people that you will see on social media. So if you are a little bit more of a casual player like myself, you're gonna have to be a lot more like effective and efficient about how you invest your rare candies. So the first 2 Pokemon that I want to talk about is actually a pairing of Kyogre and Groudon. These 2 Pokemon are very solid. They have an incredible set of base stats. That is honestly what makes them so amazing. They're really not rivaled by many other types. I would say that Kyogre gets a little bit of a leg up just because of the moveset that Groudon has, where most people have opted just to use Solar Beam, which is a grass type as opposed to just the ground type moveset that it has. And then Kyogre, on the other hand, does have an incredible double water type moveset. So if these 2 Pokemon are absolutely amazing, why would there be any type of hang up for you to not invest your rare candies into it? Well, basically the only issue is that in the future they will get their signature move, which could end up being better than anything that is out at this current point in time. For example, we've got Origin, Pulse, and then Precipitous Blades. If these 2 moves make it in and they end up being better than any moveset available to Groudon and Kyogre, all of a sudden, you could just end up investing into it, and if they end up getting like a legendary raid day where you can only obtain the new move from doing a raid, all of a sudden you have a ton of Pokemon that are rendered useless. So I definitely want to bring that up, but that could be quite a bit of time. So in the meantime, I do think it is a safe bet, or at least a smart bet, to go ahead and invest your rare candies in either Kyogre or Groudon. Probably more so Kyogre for now, until Groudon can get a completely new moveset. Number 4 belongs to Raikou. So this is an option, one of the legendary beasts that we really do need to see come back around, back into raids. I do think people would be excited to go out and raid a Raikou again, but it's been so long since it has been a raid boss. But there are so many great reasons as to why Raikou is such a solid investment. So first things first, it is number 1 as an electric type attacker. Now, for the most part, people kind of got it into a bucket where it's obviously not good for anything else. The moveset was just pure electric type moves, but we ended up getting an update to where now it knows Shadow Ball, and that's not necessarily effective versus like its weakness or anything, but Shadow Ball, all in all, is not that bad of a move. So maybe in this case, you're either investing your rare candies just to power it up, or you might be considering unlocking a secondary charge move. That could be a little bit of an option, especially if you focus a little bit more on PvP. But for the most part, Raikou really doesn't have that much competition. I would say Electivire is probably one of the best like non-legendary options to it, and then Zapdos falls a little bit further behind. So I personally think that Raikou is a very solid option for you to invest your rare candies into. Let's go ahead and drop into the number 3 spot. We're going to go ahead and finish up that creation trio with Rayquaza. Now, Rayquaza does have a little bit more of a benefit than its counterparts of Kyogre and Groudon because of a couple of things. So first things first, an incredible set of stats. So yes, it is on par pretty much with the other 2, where it is one of the best dragon type attackers. So it is definitely something that you should invest in from that standpoint. But do not forget about this. There's a little bit of a hidden gem related to Rayquaza's moveset. You can actually obtain a double flying type moveset, And although it's not necessarily the best flying type attacker, it does have flexibility because of having that double stab moveset, and you can kind of switch between the two. So it does have a little bit of flexibility, which is why I think it is such a great option. There are some other competitors from the dragon typing, like from the non-legendary or even the legendary, but all in all, because of Rayquaza's incredible stats, it does remain king at this point in time, which is why I think it is such a solid option to invest in. Number 2 belongs to Mulches. Now, because of this, we're actually going to be doing something a little bit different as far as the recommendation is concerned for this. So first things first, when we talk about Mulches, it does have a decent set of stats, not necessarily the best set of stats though, but just because of its competition versus flying type attackers or also fire type attackers, it still manages to be one of the best options available, really from both standpoints. So here's a little bit of a trick to this. Because it is such a good option, and then on the front end move, it doesn't have a flying type moveset, what a lot of people do is they either have like Fire Spin, Sky Attack, or Fire Spin Overheat. So this is one of those few options that it might make sense for you to get one of your Sky Attack Mulcheses and go ahead and unlock that Overheat. And now, all of a sudden, you're investing your rare candies to unlock a move, and it's the best moveset available for that Pokemon, and it's one of the best attackers regardless of not having a double flying type moveset, which is definitely a solid option for Moltres. So, ladies and gentlemen, we saved the best for last, and that is Mewtwo. So Mewtwo is an absolute monster, has an insanely high attack stat, and because of that, it really is able to transcend so many different types of attacks throughout Pokemon Go. So of course, initially people kind of focused on either using Shadow Ball or maybe Psychic, but then the moveset got completely expanded into some kind of like wild options like Ice Beam, Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, and just so many other options. All of a sudden, Mewtwo, one of the most powerful Pokemon in Pokemon Go, becomes a bit of a Swiss Army knife. So if you are wanting a pretty surefire Pokemon to go ahead and invest into, Mewtwo is definitely one of those, especially if you have a Shadow Ball Mewtwo. Maybe even unlocking a second charge move could be worth it. It's a similar situation to Moltres where because it has the double Psychic type moveset on the front end, you're not going to be missing out by unlocking another option like Psychic and Shadow Ball. That's going to be a dangerous combination, and you're not going to really lose that much from it. As far as the future is concerned, there is the option that it could eventually get Side Strike, but as far as some of the numbers seen in the game, they're actually not going to be better than some of the other moves. So yeah, I don't think there's too much of an issue with the future of Mewtwo pretty much beating itself. But anyways, I hope you did enjoy this episode. Hopefully it gives you a little bit more of an aim as to where you want to put your rare candies into and what you want to put it in, and then talking a little bit about the future threats as well. So let's go ahead and end on a question of the day. That is, what Pokemon would you recommend putting your rare candies into? Definitely let us know in the comments section below, and if you want a little bit more ideas, definitely check out some other people's answers. But if you did enjoy it, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I will see you next time. I wanted to extend a huge thank you to the supporters over at Patreon. You definitely make this possible, and I 100% appreciate this support. If you are interested in supporting my channel on Patreon, definitely feel free to check out the link in the description.